where she is, but I wondered how important both today and generally she's been in maybe just creating an extra attacker by being able to build in that back three, really push Katie on, and particularly with Spurs playing a back five today.
Yeah, good spot. So don't want to say too much about what we want to try and create, but we try and create numbers on different areas on the pitch, and I think Steph did really well today recognizing that. And but I think in general all our centre backs are good at that. We would ask the same thing from another centre back, but yeah, Steph is doing really well at the moment.
And you said yesterday as well, an element of unpredictability in how Tottenham would line up. They went with that back five. I think they've only done that once this season. I wondered, how much you prepared for a back five today and how much their approach, whether it surprised you or not.
Well, we saw the lineup against City, where Bartrip was in midfield as well. We saw the lineup this afternoon, and we expected them to stay in their four and do the same thing as against City, but then they decided to go to a five. We've played against a lot of fives this year, so I think our players are very adaptable, so we adapted quickly. But yeah, I think it says something about how hard it is at the moment to stop things that we are doing, so that's very positive.
Cheers, Tim. Art.
Hi, Renee.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask about, Alessia's first goal. She took it really quickly, and it seemed like throughout the game, not just with the goals, but with general play, there was a lot of one-touch football being played. I was just wondering, and I mean this in a good way, is there maybe less thinking going on when those attacks are being, I guess, finished in the final third?
Yeah, you'll have to ask the players there on the pitch, but I think so. If I think the quickest football is played instinctively, but there still needs to be a foundation. So that's, I think, always the hardest part in coaching, to find the balance of foundations and structure, and then letting the players freedom and creativity. So I think at the moment it seems to be quite right for the players, but yeah. Answer to your question, I'm not sure. You'll have to ask the players.
And something you mentioned yesterday in terms of ownership and everyone taking ownership, I was just wondering, what does that actually look like in terms of, how do you kind of get people to take ownership of the situation and stuff like that?
We try to facilitate as much as we can to set them up in a good way. But examples could be how much we ask for them to be involved in meetings instead of us presenting. Can they actually activate their brains and see what they think, because they often have really good ideas as well. So that would be one of the examples. Yeah.
Thanks, Art. Tom.
Thanks.
Congratulations, Renee. Could I just ask maybe just how much satisfaction you're getting from just putting smiles back on faces, and not only the players but the supporters too. What does that mean to you, the kind of form you're in there?
Yeah, very positive. I think it means a lot for the players, for the staff, for the club, for the fans as well. It's the chicken or the egg question, I think. Where do the smiles come from? Behaviours are contagious as well. So as soon as someone starts smiling, the next one is more tended to smile as well. So where exactly it started, I think it's hard to grasp. There's so many things to it. But I'm happy that's actually what's happening at the moment.
Did you notice or sense from your players before the game that they felt as though they had something to prove from last year's defeat here? Was that, how much of a fueling factor was that for them?
It was for them, I think. I know the players have been talking about it. We just try to stay in the moment and what we're doing at the moment and keep our positive momentum going. But yeah, definitely, I think for a couple of players it meant some extra fire in them. Yeah.
Sorry, you're going to hate this question. You've been away to Juventus and you're doing so well at Tottenham. People are going to start asking whether the job should be yours. Has anything changed for you in your approach?
No, the block has gone really well so far, and now we have one more game ahead of us, and we're going to do everything to get a good performance and good results again in that last game, and that's when we start breathing. But at the moment, we just stay in this focus because we have a lot of hard work to do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Robert.
Hi, Renee. I was just going to get an overall assessment of the game, the goals, and also crucial save at the key moment in the first half.
Yeah, obviously, I think big events always give the game a direction. It's not necessarily it has to go in that direction. Everything can be changed still, but obviously Alessia scoring that early goal and Daphne making that save early in the game it helps us big time. It does. So no, I'm very happy with the start of the game. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks. Sandra.
Hi, Renee.
Hi.
Hi. Congrats on the win. I mean, the team have been, great offensively, but very stingy also defensively. Is it like 2 goals or so in the last 6 games conceded? Just what's been the change? I mean, how are they doing things differently in terms of, as a whole defensively?
In the structure, not so much different, but I think we have focus areas that we work really hard on, that we review a lot, and that's how we act in both boxes, because that's where games are won or lost. And the players have been taking it on brilliantly, and that's one of our focus areas. So I'm very happy with that. Yeah.
And how do you feel the mindset of the players has changed recently, particularly with the clean sheets that they're racking up, as well as just being very kind of just ruthless in that final third and not passing it around so much?
Yeah, so that's exactly one of the words that we are using a lot this block, ruthlessness. We want to be ruthless in both boxes. And it's easy to say it, but and then turning it into action, I think, is much harder. But the players are actually turning it into action. So we try to facilitate for that. We try to put emphasis on a couple of things, but then the players are actually doing it. And I'm just very happy that they're getting success out of what they're doing at the moment. And again, like I said before, we need to maintain that, and we need to even develop that further, because new challenges will be coming.
And the players seem to be becoming more clinical, particularly when they're coming off the bench, like Stina as well, just adding that finishing touch in the second half. Just how do you feel about the rotation and particularly how you're using your attackers as and when?
I think we have such a great squad. It's hard decisions to make, how to start, how to finish the game, but the luxury we have is that we can actually have scenario planning for that. So I think I'm just very happy that players starting the game do really well, but then also players finishing the game do really well. I think our last couple of games we've been decisive in the last 15, 20 minutes of games, and that's when our game changes on the pitch. So I'm very happy with how the group is working at the moment.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Last couple, one here.
Hi Renee, congratulations on a great win. I just wanted to ask about Kim Little. She was taken off at half time. Was that a pre-planned change, or is there something you're worried about injury-wise there?
It's not pre-planned, but we always go through scenarios. We were 2-0 up in halftime. We have played a lot of games. We have one more game ahead of us, and we have other midfielders that are doing really, really well. So that was for us an in-game decision to change the 6 in halftime.
How happy were you with Kira Cross's performance when she came off the bench?
Kara is a really good football player. She's a great player. So I'm happy for her that she got to contribute, and I'm happy for the other players coming on as well. So again, I want to highlight all players in the squad. It's not only about the players starting; it's about all of them.
Freddie.
Hi Renee. Just looking back on it last year, a lot of the attacks in my memory sort of came down the wings and obviously weren't successful. All 3 goals today coming through central areas. The first 2 with Leah sort of building from the back. Is that something you spoke about?
Yes. We want to find variety in how we attack, and recognizing a little bit better that when we are wide, how many do they invest? Where do the spaces? Where are the new spaces for us? So we try to play around with that, and I think the players recognize that really well today.
And the last few games you've been in good positions at half time. You've finished the games really well. What's your approach like at half time? And also when the players are out there in that huddle, what conversations do they have to avoid that complacency?
I don't know what they're saying in the huddle, but I think the last couple of games we talk in halftime about this is good for us, we're leading, but we can expect the opposition to come out and do something different because they're not happy with it, and we try to prepare them for the different scenarios. But then still it's on the players how they come out. But I think actually the start of the second half we struggled a little bit, so that was probably our weakest phase of the game. So that's something we'll have a look at, but otherwise I think the players have been doing really well, and the players coming on making a change for us.
Thanks, mate. Last one here at the front, then we'll wrap.
Brilliant. The pass from Cadence at the end was probably pass of the match. Do you have a word for her today? She was fantastic.
Yeah, I think she's fantastic constantly in both trainings and games. She's a super intelligent footballer. She has technical abilities, and then on top of that, she works really hard. So she's a great player to have in the squad, and I think that pass was fantastic. I agree.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.